Good morning, guys. How are you today? So today I'll be explaining the math course questions. So I'm gonna do all of them, not only the grids. I think they're very important to do all of them. Now, the first chapter we have is chapter 3.3, which is complex numbers. Let's start with the first question, which is question number 18. Find x and y if 2 minus 6xi equals 8y minus 4x plus 3y I. So this looks like a complex equation. So how will we be able to solve it? Very simply, you need to separate it into two parts. The real part, the real part and the imaginary or the complex part. What does it mean, the real part? That means anything without I, whereas the imaginary part, it's anything with I, okay? So let us deal with the real part first. From this equation, what is the real part? The real part is 2. From this equation over here, what is the real part? The real part is 8y. Now, you will put the equal in between them. So 2 is equal to 8y. That means what? That means y is equal to 2 over 8, which is what? Which is 1 over 4. And just like that, we found the value of y, which is what? Which is 1 over 4. Now, the next thing we need to do is what? Is to take the imaginary part by itself. When you take the imaginary part by itself, you have minus 6xi is equal to, now the imaginary part over here, which is what? Which is minus 4x plus 3yi. We can cancel two things. We can cancel the minus, and then we can cancel the I. And we will be left with 6x is equal to 4x plus 3y. But look, we have y. We found it over here to be what? To be 1 over 4. So very simply, you can remove the y and you can replace it with 1 over 4. So move this to the other side. You get 2x is equal to 3 over 4. So move 2 to the other side. X is equal to 3 over 4 times 1 over 2. You guys should know how we got this. Okay, and then you will get a final answer of 3 over 8. So now we just found the value of y, which is 1 over 4, and the value of x, which is what? Which is 3 over 8. Okay, so let's move on to question number 19. What does it say in question number 19? Given the two complex numbers, z equals minus 2 minus I and w equals 7 plus 3i. Keep these in mind, they are very important. They said, find 5z plus 3w. So it's going to be 5 times z. What is z in this case? Z is minus 2 minus I, okay? Then plus 3 times w. What is w? W is 7 plus 3i. So let us then expand. It's going to be then minus 10 minus 5i plus 21 plus 9i, okay? And now you just need to add the real number with the real number and the imaginary number with the imaginary number. You can say imaginary, or it's preferable to say complex, okay? So if you add this and this, you're gonna get an answer of 11, and if you add this and this, you will get an answer of 4i. So for part A, the final answer is what? The final answer is 11 plus 4i. We move on to part B. What does it say in part B? It says 4 times z. What is z in this case? Z is minus 2 minus I. Pay attention, minus w. What is w? W is 7 plus 3i. Let us then distribute. It's going to be minus 8 minus 4i. Here the minus gets distributed on both parts, so minus 7 minus 3i. Now, don't forget to do real number with real number, complex with complex, okay? So then it's going to be minus 15 minus 7i. And just like that, we finished part B. Let's move on to question number 20. So they want us to solve x squared plus 2x equals minus 20. Now, honestly, there's many ways to do this, but how they taught us in school is that you will move minus 20 to the other side, and you get x squared plus 2x plus 20. And then you will make it equal to 0. For the people that have the function on their calculator, you can do mod 5, 3, put as A1, as B2, and as C20, and you will get the two answers to be what? To be minus 1 plus or minus radical 19 times I. Okay, so these are the final answers. Now for the people who don't have this function on your calculator, how are we supposed to do this? In order for us to be able to do this, we will need to first find the discriminant. Discriminant is b squared minus 4ac, so it's gonna be 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 20. Put it on your calculator. You will get an answer of minus 76, okay? Now that we have the value of the discriminant, we can apply the equation of the roots. Roots are equal to minus b plus or minus radical discriminant over 2a. So very simply, it's going to be what? It's going to be minus b. What is b in this case? B is 2. So it's going to be minus 2 plus or minus radical our discriminant, which is what? Which is minus 76 over what? Over 2a. So over 2 times 1, which is basically 2. Now here we have sort of a problem. We have a negative number under the radical. This will not work. So how do you do this? You will separate it into two numbers, which is minus 1 and 76. Okay. Now minus 1, radical minus 1, it will always be I. So you can just take out the radical minus 1 and substitute it with the I. So now it's going to be minus 2 plus minus radical 76I, because we took out the radical minus 1, over what? Over 2. Okay, put radical 76 on your calculator. It's gonna give you 2 radical 19. So it has become, what it has become, choose a good color, minus 2, okay, plus or minus 2 radical 19 I over 2. Now simplify it. How do we simplify it? We simplify it by cancelling the 2's. And we will be left with what? We'll be left with minus 1 plus or minus radical 19 I. As you can see, it's the same answer as over here. That means we got the correct answer. So that is it for question number 20. They said question number 21, factor over the set of complex numbers. So for this one, they want us to factor it. There's two ways to do it. You can either use your calculator. You can go mod 5, 3. You can put in a5 and b0. Why? Because it's ax squared plus bx plus c. We do not have bx, we only have ax squared and c. So for b, we're going to put it as 0. And for c, we are going to put it as 125. You could do this on your calculator and you can get the value of the roots. So root 1 is equal to 5i. Root 2 is equal to minus 5i. Now, in order to get the factors, very simply, you're going to move this to the other side. So it becomes x minus 5i, and you'll move this to the other side. It will become x plus 5i. Now, this is one way to do it if you have this function on your calculator. If, however, you don't have this function on your calculator, look what we're going to do. We're going to take out the common factor. So what's the common factor over here? It's going to be x squared plus 125 divided by 5, which is 25. So what did we do? We took out 5 as the common factor. Now, as you can see over here, you have x squared plus 25. This looks like what? The difference of two squares, dots. It looks like the difference of two squares. But the only thing is that it has a plus and not a minus. So how do you solve this? Very simply, you would solve it as if it was a difference of two squares, but next to the whole number, you are going to put I next to it. What does that mean? If you solve this as a difference of two squares, it's going to be x minus 5, x plus 5. But because it is not a difference, it's plus, what we're going to do is we're going to put an I. We're going to put the complex number next to it. Very simply, that's how we solve question number 21. Move on to question number 22. What does it say? It says, they want us to factor x squared plus 8x plus 25. Again, if you have this equation on your calculator, you can do mod 5, 3. You can open, you can put for for A1, for B8, and for C25. Put it on your calculator, you will get the roots. So root 1 is equal to minus 4 plus 3i. Root 2 is equal to minus 4 minus 3i. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move it to the other side. When we move it to the other side, the signs are going to switch. So it's going to be x plus 4 minus 3i. Okay, this is the first factor. The second factor is going to be x plus 4 plus 3i. Okay, you're basically going to multiply this by minus. Now, if you don't have this function on your calculator, how are we going to do this? Now this is a bit complicated, but it's a very nice method. What they did was they did the square, complete the square method. So what they did first, they put brackets here, they took out the common, which is 1. So it stayed x squared plus 8x. And then what did they do? They took this number and they divided it by 2. So 8 divided by 2, it's gonna be what? It's gonna be 4, okay? And then what we're gonna do, and now what are we gonna do with this? We are gonna square it and we will get an answer of 16. Okay, so inside of the bracket, you're gonna add 16. However, outside of the bracket, as long as there's no equal sign, outside of the bracket, it's gonna be minus 16. So look what's gonna happen. It's gonna be x squared plus 8x plus 16. Okay, and then it is what it's gonna be, plus 25 minus 16. So then if we continue solving, it's gonna be what? It's gonna be x squared plus 4 after solving this, after making it a square, okay, plus 9. My bad, I did this wrong. X plus 4 squared plus 9. How did we get this? We simplified this. We did the square root of this, and then we also simplified this. Now here, what we could do is we could do difference of squares. Why? Because we have one square over here and we have another square over here. But the only issue that we have is that we have a plus instead of a minus. So difference of two squares requires a minus, but we have a plus. So we're going to do the same thing as we did before. If you remember in question 21, we came across this exact issue. So in order to solve it, what we're going to do is we're going to solve it as if it was difference of squares, as if it was x plus 4 squared minus 9. We solved it as difference of two squares, so it's gonna be x plus 4 minus 3 one time. So this is the root of this, and this is the root of this. And then x plus 4 plus 3. So this is the root of this, and this is the root of this. But because we don't have minus, so we have plus instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add an I over here and an I over here. And just like that, we have the same exact answer here and here. So that is it for question number 2. Let us go on to question number 23. When minus 3 plus 2i times 5 minus 9i is expressed in the form a plus bi, it is equal to 3 plus ki, where k is a whole number to be determined. What is the value of k? So I think here we need to expand it in order for us to expand it. So let us expand it. It's going to be minus 3 times 5, which is minus 15. And then minus 3 times minus 9, which is plus 27. And do not forget the I, okay? And then plus 2 times 5, that's going to be plus 10. And do not forget the I. Now finally, here's the important part. 2i times minus 9i, so it's going to be minus 18i squared. But listen, we know that I is equal to radical minus 1. That means I squared is equal to what? It is equal to minus 1. So very simply, we can substitute I squared by minus 1. So it's going to be minus 15 plus 27i plus 10i minus 18 times I squared. What is I squared? I squared is minus 1. Okay? So then, after solving a bit further, it's going to be what? It's going to be minus 15 plus 37i plus 18. And then after solving a bit more, it's going to be what? It's going to be 3 plus 37i. So what is the value of k? Because it's 3 plus ki, that means the value of k is what? The value of k is 37. Now that is it for 3.3. We move on to the next one, which is 6.2, if I'm not mistaken. 5 vectors. Six, okay, we have 6.2 and 6.3. Okay, so section 6.2. I think we have to do all of the questions. They're gonna be a bit long. And then we have section 6.3. So it's gonna take some time, but I believe I'm gonna skip some of the repetitive questions. Alright, so we start with question number 8. B is an arithmetic progression with first term B1 8 and common difference D minus 2. Find B5 and B21. So when we're dealing with an arithmetic progression, we should remember the equation that an is equal to a1 plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, so we need to find what? We need to find b5, but in this case, instead of a, they put b. So basically, if you want to change the equation for it to make more sense, it's going to be bn is equal to b1 plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, so bn, we need to find b5. It's equal to what? To b1, which is 8, plus n, which is 5 in this case, because n, 5. So plus 5 minus 1 times the common difference, which is what? Which is minus 2. So you will have to put this on your calculator, and you're supposed to get an answer of 0. So it's supposed to be 8 plus 5 minus 1 times minus 2. You will get an answer of 0. Now for the next one, which is what? Which is B21. So it's going to be B21 is equal to B1, which is 8, plus n being 21. So 21 minus 1 times minus 2. You will put it on your calculator. You're supposed to get an answer of minus 32. So very simply, this is question number 8 done. We move on to question number 9. What does it say in question number 9? Find the sum of the first 40 terms of an arithmetic progression with first term equal to 6 and second term equal to 16. Very simply, first 40 terms, this is n. We know that the equation for the sum of arithmetic progression, it is n over 2 times a1 plus an. So it's gonna be n, which is 40, over 2 times a1. What is a1? a1 is 6 in this case, plus an. How do we find an? Very simply, we can find the common difference because we know that it's an arithmetic progression. So we're gonna do second term, which is 16, minus first term, which is 6, to get the common difference to be 10. Okay? And then we will put it in an equation to find the value of an. Very simply, an is equal to a1 plus n minus 1 times d. So an, which is a40, is equal to a1. What is a1 in this case? It is 6 plus n minus 1. So 40 minus 1 times the common difference d, which is 10. So 6 plus 40 minus 1 times 10. Please do not forget to put the brackets. They're very important. And so it will be an answer of what? It will be an answer of 396. So instead of an, you can put what? You can put 396. Put it on your calculator. 40 over 2 times 6 plus 396. What will you get? You will get as an answer 8040. Move on to question number 10. Evaluate the arithmetic series minus 5, plus 1, plus 7, plus 13, plus 289, whatever, you know. So how are we going to deal with this? Because it's an arithmetic series, we know that the equation is an is equal to a1 plus n minus 1 times d. Alright, so an in this case is 289 is equal to a1, which is minus 5, plus n minus 1, which we need to find, times the common difference d. How do we find the common difference? You can just do like a2 minus a1. So it's gonna be 1 minus 5, so you will get that the common difference d is equal to 6. So times 6, move minus 5 to the other side, it becomes 289 plus 5, which is 294. It's equal to n minus 1 times 6. Divide both sides by 6. You will get 49 is equal to n minus 1. So n is equal to 50. Okay? Now to find the sum, you'll apply the equation n over 2 times a1 plus an. Because as you can see, this is the sum. So it's going to be 50 over 2 times a1, which is minus 5, plus an, which is 289. Okay? So you will put it on the calculator and get an answer of 7,100. We move on to question number 11. It says a pyramid-shaped structure is made of blocks. You have the bottom level consists of 245 blocks and the top level consists of 1 block. How many blocks are there in this structure? Given that it consists of 62 levels and each level exceeds the one above it by the same number of blocks. So they want what? The total number of blocks, aka the sum. So we have what? We have n, which is 62. n is equal to 62. We have a1, which is what? The bottom level, the first level, which is 245. And then we have an, which is the last level. It is what? It is 1 block. So it's gonna be n over 2 times a1 plus an. So 62 over 2 times 245 plus 1. Put it on the calculator. And we are supposed to get an answer of 7626. Okay, we move on to question number 12. Sarah started working in 1990 with a monthly salary of $1,200. Each year, her monthly salary increased by $120. What was the increase in Sarah's monthly salary from 2000 to 2010? So they want to know the increase. Very simply, you know that it increases each year by $120. But how many years did it pass from 2000 to 2010? That is what, 10 years. So what is the increase? It's gonna be 120 times 10, which is 1,200. The increase is 1,200, but what she actually has, if they asked you what does she actually have, you would have to find how much she had in 2000. Or another way you could do that is that you could say from 1990, she started with a monthly salary of 1,200. From 1990 till 2010, what is the difference? It is 20 years. So plus the increase per year, which is 120 times 20 years. So 1,200 plus 120 times 20. She will get what? 3,600. This will be her new salary, whereas they only want the increase, so the answer will be 1,200. Find a simplified expression for this in terms of n. Okay, so how do you make a simplified expression of this? Personally, how I do it is I replace the value of k. So first of all, I will ignore this. It's like it does not exist anymore. But I will substitute the value of k with the equation of the sum, which is n over 2 times n plus 1. And next to any constant number, any number that does not have a variable next to it, I will just place n. So for example, it's gonna be 5 times n over 2 times n plus 1 minus 2n. After solving, it will become 2.5n times n plus 1 minus 2n. So 2.5n squared plus 2.5n minus 2n to get the final answer of what? To get the final answer of 2.5n squared plus 0.5n. Okay, after solving this, you will get this answer. So now they want us to find what? They want us to find the value of this summation. So in order for us to find it, very simply, we can substitute the value of n in this equation over here. In order for us to substitute the value of n in this equation over here, what we will need to do is we will need to find a general formula. So what's a general formula we could use? Very simply, they gave it to us. It is 5k minus 2, but instead of the k, you can put n. So this is 2. Instead of the k, you can put n. So 5n minus 2. Okay, so 5n minus 2 is equal to 503. Bring it to the other side. 5n is equal to 505. So n is equal to 101. Now that we have the value of n, we can substitute it in this equation over here. So it's gonna be 2.5 times 101 squared plus 0.5 times 101. So put it on your calculator. And you're gonna get an answer of 25,553. That's it for question number 13. We move on to question number 14. Let A be an arithmetic sequence with first term minus 12, so keep this in mind. Remember, equation an equals a1 plus n minus 1 times d. So first term is minus 12, and common difference 6 plus n minus 1 times 6. For the second one, it is what? Another arithmetic progression with first term 5, and common difference 5, so plus n minus 1 times 5. Make them equal to each other, so minus 12 plus n minus 1 times 6 equals 5 plus n minus 1 times 5. So bring this here and bring this here. You are going to get n minus 1, because after subtraction here, this is like 6 minus 5 will give you 1. So n minus 1 times 1 is equal to 5 plus 12. What is 5 plus 12? That is 17. Okay, So move this to the other side, you're gonna get then that n is equal to 18. So the value of k for which ak is equal to bk is 18. And what is the common value in this case? In order to find the common value, you can substitute it in any of the two equations. So for example, it could be 5 plus 18 minus 1 times 5. And you're gonna get an answer of 90. If you substitute it as well here, it's gonna be minus 12 plus 18 minus 1 times 6. And you're also gonna get 90. So that means the common value is 90. So let's move on to question number 15. Anne is making pattern using white and black circles. The patterns form a sequence and makes sure to show some information about the pattern. So as you can see, for the number of black circles, it's increasing constantly by 2. So the common difference is what? The common difference is 2. So using the equation an is equal to a1 plus n minus 1 times d, we need an, which is a5, is equal to a1, which is 3, plus n minus 1, so 5 minus 1 times the common difference, which is 2. So 3 plus 5 minus 1 times 2, you will get the number over here to be 11. But over here, as you see, it's not increasing uniformly. This is 3, then this is 4, then this is 5. So then you will see that it's increasing each time by 1 again. Okay, so what does that mean? That means we're going to be adding 1 more. If you add 1, this is going to be 6. And then 15 plus 6 will give us an answer of 21. So very simply, the answers over here are 11 and 21. So we finished part A. Part B, find an expression in terms of n for the number of black circles in the pattern n. So I think we already did it before. We applied the equation an is equal to a1 plus n minus 1 times d. So an is equal to a1, which is 3, okay, plus n minus 1 times the common difference, which we found to be 2. So if you expand it, it's gonna be 3 plus 2n minus 2, so it's basically 1 plus 2n. We move on to part C. It says Anne makes a pattern with 201 black circles. Find the number of this pattern. So based on the equation we found in part B, it's gonna be 1 plus 2n is equal to 201. Move this to the other side. 2n is equal to 200, so n is equal to 100. So that is it for part D. Let us move on to part C. Let's move on to part D. Anne needs a total of 3 circles to make the first pattern. And she needs a total of 9 circles to make the first 2 patterns. She needs a total of this circles to make the first n patterns. Find the value of A and B. So very simply, how are we gonna do this? Very simply, you're gonna substitute n based on the number of patterns, and then you're gonna make it equal to the total number. So for 3, it's gonna be 1 over 6 times 1 cubed plus a times 1 squared plus b times 1 is equal to 3. Okay? Then after solving, it's 1 over 6 plus a plus b is equal to 3. Keep it like this. This is how we need it. For the second one, it says it needs 2 patterns. So it's 1 over 6 times 2 cubed plus a times 2 squared plus b times 2. After solving it, it's going to be 8 over 6 plus 4a plus 2b is equal to what? It's equal to 9. So basically, 4a plus 2b, if you move this to the other side, 4a plus 2b is equal to 9 minus 8 over 6. Okay, so 9 minus 8 over 6, it's what it is, 23 over 3. Okay, and if you move this to the other side, it becomes a plus b is equal to what? A plus b is equal to 3 minus 1 over 6, which is what? Which is 17 over 6. Okay, then you can keep whatever you want by itself. For example, if you keep b by itself, it's gonna be b is equal to 17 over 6 minus a. Okay, now substitute the b over here, so it's gonna be 4a plus 2 times 17 over 6 minus a is equal to 23 over 3. So 4a plus what's 17 over 6 times 2? That's gonna be 17 over 3. Plus 17 over 3 minus 2a is equal to 23 over 3. Bring this to the other side. 4a minus 2a is 2a. 2a is equal to 23 over 3 minus what? Minus 17 over 3, which is what? Which is 2. So we get the value of a to be what? To be 1. Now we come back to this equation over here. 1 plus b is equal to 17 over 6 because we found a to be 1. Move it to the other side. B is equal to 17 over 6 minus 1. So the answer for B is going to be what? It's going to be 11 over 6. So I think I'm going to stop at 15. The rest, I will leave it for you guys to solve it. And now we move on to 3. So for 6.3, I don't think I will do any top questions. That means I'm going to do 19, 20, 21, and 22, and that's it. Okay, so question number 19. G is a geometric progression with first term G1 and common ratio radical 2. Find G3, G7, and G11. What is the equation? The equation is Gn is equal to G1 times the ratio to the power of n minus 1. So if we're dealing with what? We're dealing with G3. It's going to be Gn, which is G3, is equal to G1, which is 1 over 2, times the common ratio, which is radical 2, to the power of n minus 1. So 3 minus 1, put it on your calculator, and you're supposed to get an answer of 1. Okay, if we're doing it for G7, it is 1 over 2 times radical 2 to the power of 7 minus 1. You're supposed to get an answer of 4. Then for G11, it's 1 over 2 times radical 2 to the power of 11 minus 1. So it's supposed to give us an answer of 16. Okay, that is it for question number 19. We'll move on to 20. Find the sum of the first 10 terms of the geometric progression. How to find the sum of specific number of terms? It is what? It is 1 minus the ratio to the power of n, the number of terms, over 1 minus the ratio. So how do we find the ratio? You're going to do G2 over G1, so 2 over 1 will give us 2. That means it's 1 minus 2 to the power of 10 over 1 minus 2. So put it on your calculator. So it's supposed to give us an answer of 1023. We move on to question number 21. The first 3 terms of a geometric sequence are 1, 5x, and 10x in this order, and x is different than the 0. Calculate x and the common ratio of the geometric progression. Okay, how do we calculate x and the common ratio of the geometric progression? Very simply, to find the common ratio, you will do this over this. So G2 over G1. Or you could also do what? You could do G3 over G2. So G3 over G2 is equal to G2 over G1. G3 over G2, you will find the common ratio. So 10x over 5x, that is 2. We have the common ratio to be 2. However, to find the value of x, you'll have to do that. The common ratio 2 is equal to G2, which is 5x, over G1, which is 1. So bring this here. You're going to get 2 is equal to 5x. That means what? That means x is equal to 2 over 5. So we have the value of x, 2 over 5, and we have the common ratio, which is 2. Does the sum to infinity converge? Does it converge? No, it does not converge. Converge means, does it meet? No, it does not meet. Why? Because the common ratio is greater than 1. Because the common ratio is greater than 1, that means it will not converge, however, it will diverge. Very simple. Move on to question number 22. A small ball drops a height of 20 meters to a horizontal floor. Each time the ball strikes the floor, it rebounds to 0.2 of the height it has just fallen. Find the distance the ball travels by the time it strikes and the floor, by the time it strikes the floor for the 6th time. Okay, so very simply for this, they want the distance the ball travels by the time it strikes the floor the 6th time. So they want the total distance. So first it drops from a height of 20 meters. That means it first travels 20 meters. Then each time it rebounds to 0.2 of the height it has just fallen. So the second time it goes up, how much is the height it will travel up? It will travel 0.2 of the height it travels up. So it will travel 0.2 times 20, which is 4 meters up. So it travels 4 meters up. And it also travels 4 meters down. So this is in total 4 meters plus 4 meters, which is 8 meters. Okay, so these first few steps are important. So first it travels 20, then it travels another 8. But look, by the 8th time, By the way, why did we keep 20 by itself? We kept 20 by itself because it only goes one distance, 20. But for 8, it goes up and down. So it's gonna be 8 multiplied by how many times it rebounds. So 8 times, first of all, the equation of the sum. So what is the sum of a geometrical sequence? It's gonna be 1 minus r to the power of n over 1 minus r. So r in this case is 0.2 because it's constant. This is the geometrical constant that it's decreasing every time, or it's increasing by 0.2, or like it's being multiplied by 0.2 each time. Okay, so it's gonna be 1 minus r, which is 0.2, but here pay attention. This 8 is what, this is the first round, so it hits the floor how many times? 6 times. So 8 is the first time. How many is left? 5 is left. So 1 minus 0.2 to the power of 5 over. So 1 minus 0.2 to the power of 5, sorry, over what? Over 1 minus r, so 1 minus 0.2. Put it on your calculator. 20 plus 8 times 1 minus 0.2 to the power of 5 over 1 minus 0.2. You are supposed to get an answer which is approximately 29.9 rounded to 30 meters. So in the 6th time, it bounced 30 meters. Okay, now, show that the distance traveled by the ball cannot exceed 30 meters. How do we show this? By finding the sum to infinity. If the sum to infinity is 30 meters, that means it cannot exceed 30 meters. So how do we find the sum to infinity? In this case, because it was dropped initially 20 and it only goes down 20 and doesn't go down and up, we're going to keep 20 aside. 20 is just there because it's an additional height. Plus, it goes up then 4, down then 4, so in total this is 8. Now this is going to be what? This is going to be 8 over 1 minus 0.2. Why? The ratio of the sum to infinity, it is G1 over 1 minus r. So 20 plus 8 over 1 minus 0.2. It's going to be equal to what? It's going to be equal to, if you put it on your calculator, it's going to be equal to 30. So very simply, because the sum to infinity is 30, that means the distance traveled by the ball cannot exceed 30 meters. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful day.